Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brandon Shank, and welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast.
Am I waiting for an intro music?
No, yeah, this is, you're good.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Always good to have you. Brandon Shank here with my boy, Corey.
What up?
Corey in the corner, as y'all have named him. He's not really
Always.
in the corner anymore. He's more of Corey in the room, but
Yeah.
upgraded.
I like it.
Upgraded over time. Well, listen, are you lagging over there? Because mine's lagging hard. There you go. Not lagging anymore.
There you go. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good now, yeah.
So, I know what's on everybody's mind. The first thing is the college football playoff rankings came out yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's exactly what everybody wanted to hear about in this opening podcast. They did come out, and as expected, people are already complaining about where teams are ranked. That's really what this is all about.
That's every year, isn't it?
It's not that a team is number 7 that should be number 3. It's the fact that a certain team didn't make it, or it is that a team is number 7, they should be number 3. So the moral of the story is this: there is no good answer for this college football chaos. I love college football. I watch as much of it as I can. It has turned into the minor leagues for the big leagues. There's a lot of money in it. I get it, but I think that we are just stirring a pot that's a never-ending issue. When you have over 120 teams that could possibly make it, I just don't know if there's unless you say because this is the thing, if you say, well, it has to be winners of conferences, well, then you have like the SEC who has 5 teams that could all win the national championship on any given week, and, a bunch of them get cut out for a school like James Madison. Is that really fair? No, because everybody knows it's probably, you might get one Cinderella game, but those teams aren't going to win at all. So, and I'm not trying to be rude in saying that. I think those teams are fine, but we all know that James Madison is not going to beat Ole Miss and then beat Alabama and then beat Georgia. It's just not going to happen. So
who's ranked as number 1?
Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, number 2 is Indiana. Indiana's undefeated. They are really good. They had beat Oregon. Like, Indiana's a good team, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who I pick. I think that it's just the one thing I do like that the NIL has done. I hate the NIL. I hate the money. I understand why they did it. I like the purity of college football. You play for a scholarship, but then these schools get rich. I get all of the tension, and I understand everybody's side. The only reason I do like it is because you have a lot of teams that aren't Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia that are top teams because they can pay other players. So you got schools like Georgia Tech that have come on hard this year. Schools. You always have your Notre Dames, and but still you have a lot of schools that are able to compete, like the Vanderbilts, that would never have been able to compete before because you're not going to out recruit in Alabama, but there's only one starting quarterback per team, so you can pay them X amount of money, and now you're paying players. So the one thing I like about the NIL is that you've got a bunch of different teams that are actually in it, whereas before you didn't have that. You never thought Georgia Tech would be in a hunt for a college football playoff in the last 20 years, but now they are because you can pay players. So there's those advantages of it, is that it actually makes a very diverse college football system. But do you watch any of the World Series?
I watched pretty much all of it, except for that crazy game that went to 3 a.m. I went to bed.
I saw parts of it. I watched the Game 7. I think this might have been the best World Series I've ever seen in my life.
It was fantastic. Yeah, as much as I did not want the Dodgers to win, it was amazing to watch.
The way it ended with Mookie Betts turning the double play, you kind of sat there like, okay, like what's next? And they were celebrating. You're like, is that the end? It was almost like you couldn't. Yeah. You're just like, it was just like you sat there. You didn't really know what to do because you're like, is this over? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And it wouldn't be like, have you heard the little bits of? I feel like there's always tinges of like controversy afterwards, but there's talk of like they're reviewing this and looking into this and all. Like it's just like. Again, to me, it's weird. Like the ball got stuck thing, but like that's
baseball.
It's baseball. The guy did the right thing. Like if I was him, I probably would have done the same thing. Like,
and they're like, well, he could have pulled out of the wall. I'm like, yeah, but then you get into all kinds of logistics of how that even works down the road. Like, what if it's a little more stuck than others and it gives them an extra base? It's the semantics. It's funny to me at the end of the World Series, what I sat back and thought of, how intense every at bat, every pitch, every call, every throw, every detail of that game you can rip apart. Oh, but what's so funny to me? Just a few years ago, pitchers were hitting. bottom of the 11th. Here comes Max Scherzer.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like pitchers used to hit, and if you didn't want him to hit, if you subbed in, if you like, well, I remember the pitcher. Well, I want him to throw another inning, but I don't want him to have to hit, so I have to get another pitcher warming up in the bullpen because I got somebody that's going to pinch hit for him. Maybe you think about it, it's just a funny concept when you see how good the hitters are now, and you see how consistent they are, and you think like, John Smoltz used to go up there, and Greg Maddux, and Randy Johnson has to go up there, and they were just outs. No, not all of them. Some of those guys could really hit, but some of these pitchers, it was automatic outs. They either bunted or they struck out. Like the pitcher's bunt was like their thing. Like if there's a runner on first, guess what's happening? We are bunting. It's just funny to think about when you think about the intensity of the games now, and you think about how good all the players are, and that the pitchers used to have to stand in there and hit. And they're athletes, and it's the game. I get it, but kickers don't have to. Like, let's be honest, kickers aren't required to make tackles in football. In fact, if you see a big hit on a kick return, it's usually the kicker. The ones who want to get involved, if they just stay out of the way, they're fine. But the ones who try to make that one tackle, you're like, Sometimes they make it, and you're like, well, okay, way to go. I respect that. But then other times,
sometimes they just trip and fall in front of the person.
Sometimes you're like, bro, listen, I have not lost any respect for you in the fact you completely avoided that collision because you're not wearing many pads as it is, and you probably would have just been like, where'd he go? He just disappeared. You know what I mean? Yeah, just a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
And now some kickers have laid the wood. Don't get me wrong. They've laid the wood on some hits, man. You're just like, they're out there just doing work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not all of them. So,
which again, maybe, it's not, it's somewhat on topic. I finally saw what happened to Jaden Daniels. I finally watched the video. I was watching the other week. I don't keep up on this stuff. I'm not a Washington fan, but I was like, oh, he's not in the quarterback. What happened? Oh, he's injured. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, it was gross, man.
Oh,
I watched it live, and we were already getting beat pretty good. This is the worst the Washington Commanders have looked in decades. Like their defense, we lost to Kansas City last week by 3 touchdowns, and the defense, they look pretty good. Well, parts of it did, but we just couldn't keep up offensively. I mean, Jaden Daniels changes everything. I mean, they say, well, they're a one-man team. No. Every quarterback in the NFL that's that good is polarizing, period.
Yeah.
Same with college football. That's exactly the way it is. It's a quarterback's league. When he got hurt at the end of the game, Dan Quinn came out and said he kind of fell on the sword. He said, well, I was the reason I should have taken him out. I just don't agree with that. I'm like, they're football players. I know you're up by a lot. He's a competitor. He's been out. He's trying to get in game rhythm. They say, well, that's a play he shouldn't have been running. It's football. You're saying, well, you can avoid injury. Jaden Daniels could have been walking to the locker room on Monday and tore his ACL. Like, I just hate like in basketball, they rest players now. If 82 games is too much, if I'm paying all this money to take my kids to the game, like, sure, I want players who are healthy to play because I want to see them. Because, that's why you go. You want to see these players. I also understand it's a lot on the players. The reason players are able to play into their 40s is because they don't play some of the games every year. Michael Jordan actually came out and said that he hates when they're resting players. But I get it. Like, if it's too many games, then do less games. But the NBA won't do that because it's a money grab, right? Then there's less games and less economies for the cities. So they don't want to do that. But who are they taking the money from? Well, they want the money in the cities. Well, it's the fans. At the end of the day, it's the fans. The players don't want 82 games because they can't play them all because it's too much on their bodies. But the NBA won't pull it back. At the end of the day, who pays for that? Well, the fans pay for it. Because whether or not you get to see your favorite player, guess what? You paid for the ticket. It's almost like almost like a little bit of a knee jerk for you, but it's like a little bit of it's a little sneaky. You pay for a product you don't get because the players want to rest. Well, then do less games. But the NBA won't do that because it hurts their revenue. So at the end of the day, the NBA can say everything they want about how much they care about fans, but who does it ultimately hurt? Well, the fans, because they're the ones paying the money. So it's the same with NFL. I mean, the NFL, they're wanting to go to more games, and it's like, come on, dude. These are grown men that dislocate. I mean, do you see Tyreek Hill's knee this year?
I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
That was one of the grossest things. I mean, he held his knee up. It made like a V.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, these are a vicious game, and the NFL keeps adding games because it's a money grab. At the end of the day, there's a reason the players have an association. Roger Goodell, it is the NFL is the picture of what the United States used to be, in my opinion, before justice system was under the spotlight. I mean, he makes all the decisions, he makes all the calls. It is very lopsided. I love the NFL. I love football. But it is very backwards as a league. I mean, you got guys getting fined for things. I'm like, well, why doesn't the commissioner get fined for bad decisions he makes? Why didn't the owners get fined? Let them get hit with the bigger fines. I mean, Jerry Jones got fined for, I don't know if he gave somebody the middle finger or what, but he got fined as an owner. But it's like, why don't the NFL needs to be accountable? But that's sports. That's sports, man. That's why they're saying the college football needs a commissioner. And this is just a little bit of a soapbox. For me, I don't have a problem with any of these. They're all people and they're all doing their jobs. But at the end of the day, they're not, some of them, the NFL is a very lopsided league and it's ran heavily by the owners and the commissioner, and their players really don't have any rights. They go out there, play. I understand now why players hold out. I understand now why players fight the system, because it's very much an us versus you. It's not a we're in this together. Because without the players, I would love if the players go on strike. You know what that looks like. You get these second-rate players. Nobody wants to watch it. I mean, I've seen the XFL and all these other things. Like, there's a reason people don't watch it, because it's not good. You get the NFL and you're used to seeing that, and then you see this. This is not even as good as D1 football, in my opinion. And so you're like, why do I care? Because once you see the NFL all the time, who wants to see anything less? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just a very different dynamic. But yeah, man. So the NFL is just a heavy-handed. It's just the way it is, and that's why they have a players' union. But I guess it's like anything else. You have unions for a reason, right? To protect the people who are doing all the work, to protect the guys who are actually on the front lines, making all the doing all the hard work. So very different. So hey, man, I want to ask you a question. It's November, which means it's Thanksgiving season.
Yeah.
I want you to tell them, we always go off of favorites here, but let's go off of the one thing that you think should never make its way on a Thanksgiving table under any circumstance. And I'm hoping this thing really, really brings some hard judgment on you.
I'm going to okay, I got it. All
right. The one thing you think should never make it to the table.
Creamed corn.
Oh.
It's just, I don't know. It's like corn and milk. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't hate cream corn, but I put it this way. I don't dislike cream corn, but if I never had it ever again on a Thanksgiving table, it wouldn't bother me.
Just give me normal corn. I don't need the cream with my corn.
I understand that. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. What even is the cream in cream? Isn't it just, is it milk?
Could be cream, like whipping cream or milk. I don't know. I guess there's different ways to make it. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan. Like, I'll eat it, but corn pudding, you ever had that?
Nope.
Oh,
no.
Yes, that's good.
I don't, it's like corn cereal. Like, I don't.
No, corn, it's not like that. Corn pudding is more like a bread.
Yeah, bread, yes. Now, it's
not cornbread, but it's like a mixture. It's like it's like in between a bread and a pudding.
I've had cornbread with corn in it, but that even delicious. To me is like it. Look, I just love cornbread, so I'll eat it. But I would rather not have the corn in it.
You'd rather have corn mixed into it, like ground into it, not chunks.
See, listen, I'm not the guy that also takes the scoop of corn and puts it on top of your mashed potatoes. That ain't me. Like my youngest does it, and every time I'm like, oh, I can't. I don't know about that. Just
I don't mind that. I don't do that, but I don't mind that. It all goes together anyway. Don't you? You don't ever get a mashed potato on a fork with some corn, man?
No. I legit separate them.
Okay, you're that guy. That's okay.
I'm that guy.
I mean, for me, my Thanksgiving plate is kind of run together. Just one big pile of goods. The one thing I think should be outlawed, and I use that term very strictly. I like the cranberry sauce that's like chunky.
Oh, see, this is where you and I are gonna go two separate ways.
But the cranberry sauce that comes out of a can is disgusting. It is. Yeah. You put it in your mouth, and immediately it's like sand mixed with Jell-O, and you just rub it in your mouth, and you're like, "This is disgusting." This is what I picture cranberry sauce being like after someone chews it up and spits it out, and I eat it. That's how disgusting it is. It is grainy. It's not smooth. It's foul, and it comes out of a can, and it still has the shape
of the
rings of the can on it. Help me understand how this is a good thing.
That's the best part. It gives you little suggestions for where to cut it. Yeah,
is that what that is?
I don't know. It's been the thing's been stuffed into a can. It's one of my favorite parts of Thanksgiving.
Casey, my wife
I understand it.
It's my favorite. I'm like, you guys are enjoying Thanksgiving. Something you can go and get at a 7-Eleven and crack open and throw down any time of the year. You love that.
I'm trying to push for why this isn't a more consistent. Why is it a fall thing? I don't understand. Like anytime I have steak and mashed potatoes, put some cranberry sauce from a can on my plate, please. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to normalize this.
You can buy some.
I know.
Yeah. Well, that's
it's my favorite.
Yeah. Eesh. Eesh. Well, people that are watching this, some of you may be attendees at Palms Church. Some of you may be attendees of other places. Some of you may just follow online, follow, Instagram or TikTok or whatever. You know us, or you know me, or you know Corey. So my wife and I just recently made a transition out of Palms Church, the church we founded 11 years ago. This past Sunday was our last Sunday, and it was the most overwhelming, emotionally draining, exciting, joyful 5 weeks of my life. The last 5 weeks. It's crazy. Because, the night we told our leadership team, and we told the staff a week and a half before that, or 2 weeks before that, just overwhelming. Like, I mean, just found myself like, I just never have cried so much in a 5-week period of my life. And there was a morning season, and then there was like this Sunday, I was like, oh, I'll be good. And then you get there and you're like, it wasn't even anything specific hit me. It's just, you see certain people and you're like, and not even, it's just people I hadn't seen in a while, like some people that came from other campuses and this and that. And it was just like, wow, you just get overwhelmed by, I don't know what it was. Honestly, I can't even put my finger on it, because I'm not sad to move on. I'm not sad to leave. For those, we've had a lot of people ask, like Casey and I, our family is moving out of the area. A lot of people think we just, stepped away from the church to do other things, because we're involved in a lot here. Virginia Beach Academy is still up and running. I know we have a lot of people asking about that. Like, it's still going. We're changing out leadership to make sure we have a good thing in place. But yeah, it's I don't even know why it was been so. It's the weirdest thing, because when you're emotional, you know why. I don't know why it's been so emotional. I don't know. Not that, I know I love people, and you hate to see them go, hate to leave, blah blah. But just the sheer depth of emotion. And then Monday, me and Case sat down, and the coolest part of it was, it was like I didn't want to go. I was sitting down talking to her, and I didn't feel freedom. Like, not a freedom. I didn't feel like this way of like, all right, I'm free now. I can just kind of like take a couple weeks and do whatever I want. I had the same commitment to time with God in the morning, the same commitment to reading my Bible, the same commitment to my calling and preaching the gospel. Nothing changed in me. Zero. And I asked Case, she's like, yeah, I feel the same. I was like, I don't feel any different. Like, yeah, I don't have the responsibility of pastoring the church, but my personal responsibility feels the same. I feel just as called. I feel just as passionate. I feel just as excited and just as hopeful. Like, there's nothing in me that's changed.
Yeah.
And that was the part I think that was probably the biggest thing for me, is like, I realized I've never done this because I pastored. Maybe there was seasons that I did, but I did it because I love the Lord, and I'm called to this, and it's between me and him. It's not about me and Palms. It's not about me and the people at Palms. It's not about me and any church that I go to, or wherever Casey and I head next. It's about me and the Lord. And it was just like this thing of like, you can't hide what's real. And I was just like, man, I did do this for you, God. Like, because I felt, when I say I didn't feel different, I feel 0% different today than I felt Sunday. I feel just as committed and passionate. I don't feel like free to go and drink a beer and, do a line of drugs or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't feel like I'm just going off the deep end for a couple of weeks until I get back.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a job is what I'm getting at. Like, it's not like I feel like I'm just going to go and do things I shouldn't do, as I'm pastoring. It's like, I don't feel that. The conviction's the same. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing that I've loved, is like, I thought, like, what's it going to feel like without those guardrails, without that? And it's like, nothing changed, because I realized that my calling and my commitment wasn't to the church. It was to the Lord and to God and to what he called me to do. So it's a pretty cool moment for us, a cool moment for me that I thought about on Monday.
No, it's cool. No, I mean, it's a way of life. It's, what the Bible teaches. Yeah, we all have callings. We all have purpose and that kind of stuff. And, it may be you're in this job or this career, this, that, and the other. They're all pieces of that puzzle, obviously, but it's how you live. Yeah. Like, I don't, those things, I think that's the beauty of, you guys have modeled that, but that's the beauty of a life with Christ, is like, yeah, he'll call you to different places, but that doesn't mean that your passion and your drive for him changes. So that's cool. Yeah, it's super encouraging. Yeah, again, I think, just for you say, I don't know why, 11 years is a long time. Like,
yeah,
it's a long time with people. That's It's like living in this house with people for 11 years, and that's why it's emotional. Like, it should be. If it wasn't, that'd be, that'd be a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and I
that's really
think
cool.
too, and it's something too, I felt like there were dreams in my life that I didn't realize died in the 11 years that I was here. And it wasn't because it wasn't because of what I was doing here was great. It's like when you plant a church, if you're focused on anything else, you're not going to be very successful. My focus was on the church. It was on the people. It was on, reaching people. It was on the city. It was on, coaching. And whenever I stepped out of Palms, all of a sudden I had dreams start to come back in that I hadn't really thought about in 10, 15 years. And dreams that God put in my heart when I first got called to ministry that I realized it wasn't that I couldn't do it here. It was that it wasn't for here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are cool things because you realize that your life is a big cycle and a big circle. It's not pieces that don't connect,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like these pieces that they're meant to stay together. And so Palms built my wife and I, it built our family. It was the gauntlet, you know what I mean? I don't have these fond memories of how sweet it was. I have memories of what it took to get Palms where it's at over 11 years and the fight and the grinding, the moving in out of, I think we had 8 venues in 10 years. I mean, we battled, man, and we fought and we kept it going during COVID and we built studios in our office. I mean, we have just pounded the ground here for 11 years. And I've loved every minute of it, and I've hated every minute of it, meaning it's the best 11 years of my life that I wouldn't want to live again. And I don't mean that in a way of I don't want to be with the people. It's that people when you're leading well, I think the people don't feel the weight of what you're leading. They feel the weight of like what you're trying to do. Because we've always said, Palms Church, we want to release people into their ministry. We want people to go into what they're called to do. And so our job as pastors is to take care of the church and the aesthetics and all the stuff so that they can like come in and like go out into what God's called them to do to release them into ministry.
Yeah.
And the reason I say I never want to live it again is because if I stayed here for another 11 years, I'd want to build on what we did. I wouldn't want to do it over. It's not I don't want people to take it the wrong way and think, well, he didn't like it here. If I didn't like it here, there was times I didn't. I mean, let's be honest. Like there's times that people who go to Palms didn't like their life. It's the reality of life. There's times you don't like where you're at because it's hard, because you're frustrated. That's just normal. But we never quit. And I think for me, the relationships we have there, I would look forward to the next 11 years if God asked me to stay, because I'd get to build on top of what we spent the first 11 years building. It takes special grace and passion to do it straight for 11 and to be all in and to not, I had opportunities to travel and to preach and do all different things all over the country. And I just said no to no to no to no to no, because I wanted to be here with my boys and I wanted to build the church. And God made that very clear. Like you're here to build the church, be with your family. And my kids were little. They still are. They're younger. And so I don't regret saying no to all those things, to be at Palms and to preach, 45, 50 times a year, some years. I don't regret that.
Yeah.
But it was hard in that you just grind and there's no end in sight. And because there wasn't. For me, my end in sight was whenever I died, when I retired or whatever. And even then, I don't know if that was even something I was thinking about. It was, so I say that because I think that's what it takes to fulfill what God has in your life. You just got to go, man. And you don't look back. And so, I would be lying to say, oh, I was just glorious and this and that. No, the relationships we had were, oh my gosh, I can't put a value on them. I've told the people at Palms this, the relationships we have with people there we'll probably never have again because we built something from the ground up with those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple. When you're at war with people, there's a different bond than when you're at peace. And it's not saying throughout our life, I'm only 43, that there won't be things that we're building or grinding, but nothing will take the place of what we did at Palms Church. And no group of people will ever be able to take that place. And that's okay because they'll have a different place. But I think that's the intimacy of it. And that's the thing of like, at the end of a war, you're not like, man, I would do anything to go back to Vietnam, or I would do it. And I'm not trying to compare church planting with that. What I'm simply trying to say is that it's heinous to think you want to go back into times that were really tough that you were building. And so I think it's okay that as church planters and as people that build things in the church, be like, yeah, it was really hard. And I wouldn't want to go back, but I certainly would not want to have done it.
Yeah.
Like the easiest that Palms has ever been to pastor has been the last year and a half since we've gotten into a building. By far the easiest because we've had a building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I hope all that makes sense to whoever's listening. I hope it makes sense to hear my heart in it. But
yeah, well, no, I think you're absolutely right. There's to build something, it just naturally is such a, it's a gritty, goodness, I mean, I think even the 5 years that I've been here, the running joke is the toilets we've had to remove and all sorts of,
Oh, yeah.
it's like,
Carry them out physically.
yeah. And like, digging through asphalt and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But that hard work is incredibly unifying. Because it's team effort stuff. And so it's like a double-edged sword. It's blood, sweat, and tears. It's warfare. It's taking new territory, but it's also, companionship and camaraderie and all the good things that come with that bond people together. And that's what I'm saying. I think, to go all the way back to you saying like, yeah, I don't know why it was so hard. No, well, those are the reasons why. I mean, you're bonded to people because you've given a significant part of struggle of your life with people. And that's why I think it's hard to step away from those kind of things.
Yeah.
Again, not that you don't have friendships, not that you don't have relationships, but you're not in the same trench anymore. And you're like, I miss being in that trench with those people.
So you don't want for anything else. For me, when I was at Palms, when I say your dreams died, it wasn't that I had these dreams that we would become and we didn't. I think when we left a building we were in 3 years ago, I felt like a lot of dreams died for me personally. And that was why there was like a 6-month process for me that was really, really difficult and probably even slight depression, because I felt like there were so many things that God put in my heart that were dead.
Yeah.
And that was a really difficult time for me to walk through. And I didn't really understand that time until September of this year, when I knew that God was calling me to another assignment. That I wasn't the one to do that. I wasn't the one to build that. I wasn't the one to take the church there.
Wow.
And until I realized I wasn't the answer for the next step, the things that took place in that step didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And so I went through a really long, like a 6-month, really, depressed, but really like just shut off. Didn't want to communicate with people. Didn't look forward to staff meetings. Didn't enjoy pastoring. Because I just felt like the things that I knew Palms was going to become, I just felt like the door closed so hard, and God wasn't telling me anything. It wasn't like, oh, you're doing this, or it was an encouragement, keep going, keep going. And at the time, I wish I would have just listened and done that, but I know I was in my own struggles, and I had gone through a lot spiritually, but until this year, I didn't understand that season, because I realized I wasn't the one to do that. It wasn't that God said no, it was no to me.
Yeah.
And so I think it's okay, but that's whenever you're a servant and you're not the master. You do what you're told and what he assigns you to, not what you want to be assigned to.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, we serve God as the masters, the co-leaders, instead of the servant. Servant says, I'll do what you tell me. It doesn't say I'll listen to what you tell me. It says, I'll do what you tell me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference.
That's good.
So yeah, I think now when I knew that God released us, I would never had that moment a couple years ago if I thought I wasn't going to be here forever. And that's the part I look back, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I was locked in like that. I was so committed to Palms and so committed to the people and so committed to what God was going to do that it never crossed my mind that I wouldn't be here for the long haul. Yeah. So it was as much a surprise to me as it was to everybody else. But I'll tell you what did it for me is I had a church reach out to me that God had told me to send a resume to before the process really started. And I didn't even feel anything specific for this place. It was a pretty good opportunity, but I didn't feel like, one, I would get it, but two, that I really wanted it. I just knew God told me to do it. And I put my heart into it because I knew he told me to do it. And whenever their search team called me to do an interview, that moment I knew that God was calling me away. And that's not even the church we're going to. So just so people know the process, like my wife and I, we haven't put our resume out to a bunch of churches. We've had multiple churches call. And not because we're highly marketable. It's just because we've had people know that we're stepping into our next assignment. I've had churches call. I've had churches reach out. People ask me to put my name in for a church. Sometimes multiple people for the same church. And I haven't done it. My resume is not in a database somewhere for churches to find. I have not submitted it to any place that is over a bunch of churches. I have not submitted it to more than one church. I have I had an interview with one organization, one church, right after I told our church that process kind of started. There was a recruiting company that I started through for this church, and they've reached out to us, and I've had multiple interviews with them. And so my wife and I are flying to this church at the end of this month. But that's the amount of resumes I have out. One.
Yeah.
It's just it's the only place I have a resume at. And you're like, well, what about a backup plan, this and that? God just never worked like that through me. I'm not saying I think he does that with people, sure. But for me, it's been very clear, like walk until I close this door. And so if in December it doesn't work out, then we pray about the next place. Like I just don't, we didn't feel a peace about being on the road and interviewing at a bunch of places and going through it. I felt like it was added stress in a season that God was trying to give us rest. So it wasn't opportunity that we left Palms for. It wasn't the next big thing. A lot of people have said, man, I know you're going to do something bigger and better. And it's like, I don't. That's not at all what it is. It's different. It's not bigger or better. You don't get bigger and better. You do something different. So I just wanted to make sure people knew. I know a lot of people jump on the podcast to kind of get a deeper understanding of either things we preach on Sundays but I just want to understand really the depth of the transition.
Yeah.
We named our series Beautiful Endings back in March or April. Didn't even know. And so it ended up being the series we ended on, which is awesome. And the prophetic picture that was behind us that God gave you for even the series with the door and walking into something that was light. And, but I think it's important. I wanted people to know like the process where we're at, Casey and I, we're going to go visit friends next week that used to go to our church there in the Navy. They're in Florida. We're actually going to go down and visit them for the weekend and take our boys because we're close to their family. And then we come back, and then Casey and I fly to this church for a couple of days, and we come back, and then we're going away for Thanksgiving to see family. And so we'll be traveling a little bit. And then December, we don't know. Our house sold in 4 days, which is a miracle. So God's done everything in his order. He's just shown us I'm with you. But I think what he's shown me is, Brandon, if you stress during these weeks where you're not somewhere else, you're going to look back and wish you had just trusted me and enjoyed them. Because the only thing keep me from enjoying this time is trusting that God's got something next.
Yeah. That's good.
So I think, I think I just want to enjoy these couple of weeks, and relax and breathe. And I have other things that I'm doing. I'm still teaching classes at a college and, online, and still got stuff with VBA that I'm trying to button down and get handed off. I'll still be the president of that for the next 6-7 months, most likely. But I have a new CEO we're bringing in. So, a lot of great things are happening, but I just wanted people to see like the real inside of it is like, man, it's Wednesday and I gotta, some days like this are busy, but I'm still here in the community. I wasn't just a pastor at Palms Church. We were very missional our whole time here, and we were very involved. And so I've been very involved ever since, Sunday wasn't the end for us. We still have other things we were in this city that we're closing up, and it'll take another couple of weeks to do that. And me and my wife are already talking about this weekend, not being at Palms. It's just such a weird dynamic. Yeah. But I actually thought, oh, it's gonna be cold this weekend, man. I can rock a sweatshirt. And I was like, oh wait, I'm not gonna be going. I'm not gonna be there. It's just, but that it's just right, man. And I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for this interim. I know that the church you're gonna be such a great. You and Lauren are gonna be so great for this interim period to really just help them transition. I think it'll be great. And, because, you go through a lot of emotions when you transition. And I think the church has been through a lot of emotions. So to just have kind of like family time and be able to, have that, I think is going to be really, really good for the church as well.
Yeah. I do want to put it on record. I'll also put it on record this weekend that the next sermon series was already pre-planned to be called Good Vibes.
It was.
It's not at all. I don't want people looking at me saying, yo, this guy out here titled a sermon series called Good Vibes the week after the former lead pastor left. I just wanted to be stated that I'm staying faithful to, to what was planned.
What was our Christmas series? We have a Christmas series too. You're the reason.
You're the reason. Yeah.
Are you keeping that?
So I plan on continuing what was left on the calendar. So don't throw arrows at me.
Yeah.
Or shoot.
Honestly, I think that it's so appropriate. I think if the church doesn't, I think the morning process is what it is, and I know it'll be weird.
Yeah.
It'll probably be weird for the church to know, like Brandon and Casey aren't on vacation; they're gone.
Yeah.
So I know there's going to be a void. I would hope so. I mean, we founded the church, but I think the normalcy will set in, And I think, Christmas is a great time. You get a lot of guests, and Christmas Eve is going to be awesome. And I anticipate nothing but great things.
We're excited. We're excited, but
things.
we're excited, but it is weird. So,
yeah, it's weird for us. It's weird for us.
Vibes.
Yeah. It's weird for us because honestly, it's like, it still feels like home. It still feels like our comfort. All of our friends are there. All of our family is there. All of our, I don't think people understand. Mine and my wife's entire families go to this church.
Mm-hmm.
They're all there. And, we're not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think people I want to encourage whoever's listening, when God calls you to do something, don't count the costs and what it's going to do and how it's going to do this and that. Just obey God and let him reveal things that only he can reveal. Because if I just counted the cost, man, I don't know that I would have done it if I'd have sat and just counted the cost all the time. Because this transition has been very difficult because of all that we're leaving. I mean, our home, our families, our friends, relationships we built. And we know we're not staying in the States. Like the Potomac Network is like a group of pastors I've been a part of, over 300 pastors, 300 churches, thousands of pastors for the last 20 years. And I know God's calling me away to all of it. He's calling us away, like the place we've never been. And so it's not scary anymore, but it's unsettling. But I know that God's in front of us. And now I think there's a relief that we've made it through the transition, because that was a very difficult transition because I love the people so dearly and I'm going to miss them. And we had a marriage group we did at our house, and that was just such a sweet time with those people. I'm so glad we got to do that. So I love Palms. I love everything about it. Yes, it was hard. Yes, there was, but I wouldn't want to do it again because I don't have the grace for it. Would I like to take it from here to the next step? Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it from year 12 or year 11 to 22. No problem.
Yeah.
But I won't want to start over. Because it's like you have to have a special grace for that. It's a young man's game, man. I think you can plant when you're 50 if you want, but you have to have the grace for it. Like you have to feel that from God. And like last year I started to feel that being removed. And I think once we got into the building, things changed for me. I think, we were good at taking them from place to place. Once we got like grounded, I think it was like I started to feel the transition,
Yeah.
Like now it's somebody else's turn. So I'm excited, man. We love people at Palms. They're family. They're just family. I mean, we've known these people so deeply. I feel closer to them than most of my family, honestly. I think we could all say that.
Yeah.
You're with them, So, man, what do you got for us, Corey? You got an article you wanted to share. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't, this would be, I'm sitting here thinking like, should we? I'm sitting here, it's been such a sweet,
you want to do it next month?
Podcast.
Next month?
You know what? Maybe we say, because I would be taking it back to some of my roots, and continuing some conversations from OG news articles that I've brought. So I don't know if this is the time or the place, Pastor Brandon.
So listen, we'll pick this up in December.
Let's end this one on just you know what? This was good. I don't want to ruin it.
Well, hey, here's my final thought. I think a lot of times we sit here and we talk to you guys about life and we laugh and we joke and we just try to live life in front of you. But I think the biggest thing I've learned the last couple of months of my life is nothing replaces obedience. No amount of time reading your Bible, no amount of time of talking, no amount of time of fasting, no amount of time of praying, no amount of time of spending with your spouse. Nothing replaces doing. Not works. Not saying I'm doing works. Nothing replaces actual obedience. And I think that we hope the cumulative things, like it's like having your kid who they clean their room, they turn off the TV when you tell them, they go to school, they get good grades, but they sneak out every night. And you're like, well, that's that one thing. And I think all of us have that one thing that keeps us from really being fully obedient. Yeah. And I don't know what it is. For some of us, it's we can't understand the money, so we don't go back to school. Or we don't understand how it's going to work, so we don't transition our job. Or we don't know if our kids are going to accept it like that, and so we don't do it. I've had parents come to me and say, man, we love the church, but our kids just don't want to go to church. It's not a matter of being at Palms. They just don't want to, our kids aren't used to it. And it's like, well, get them used to it. Like, this is going to change their life. Get them, if you're into a pattern of never going, get them used to it. So I just say that because I think the final thought is that obedience changes everything. Trust God because he has you and he knows and he will do it. He will do it. in a way that you can't even think, ask, or imagine. Let me pray for you. Lord, I just thank you so much for every listener. I thank you for every person that's jumped on here. I pray they would know you're good, you're faithful, and you love them, and you'll never, ever, ever leave them, abandon them, or forsaken them. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, love y'all. Have a great week. We'll see you in December. Happy Thanksgiving in advance.